This is Robert Hitt. This is May 19th, 2009. I want to have a discussion with you about what I consider a problem with the money that we're holding in our pockets. I've been an observer of markets and a financial astrologer since 1975. I have quite a bit of experience in watching, particularly for crisis points. That's pretty much my specialty. So what I'm going to report to you today is we may have a crisis brewing, and I want to present what I consider to be a solution to this problem. I want to show you a US dollar. I want you to note what's written on it. It says Federal Reserve Note. All of our paper money has Federal Reserve Note written on it. I want to make a clear distinction between this paper money and the coinage of the US, which does not have Federal Reserve written on it. And I believe that there's a very important distinction between the two types of money that are in circulation today. This is a US dollar coin right here. These coins started to be minted a few years ago. On this coin you have nothing mentioned about the Federal Reserve. I believe that this coin right here and the rest of the US coinage will at some point replace the paper Federal Reserve notes as far as how we trade amongst ourselves. We need to consider the fact that this is not outside the realm of possibility, because this has already happened. This happened in India when the British were run out of India by the use of salt as currency, and also more recently the Soviet Union's currency collapsed and they were actually using Marlboro cigarettes for currency. In the case of the United States, we don't even need to go that route, because our coined money already in circulation is something we can use to be able to trade amongst ourselves and divest ourselves of the debt and the inflation and the control that the Federal Reserve notes have over us. So what are we going to do? My suggestion to everybody is to accumulate a lot of US coinage. What that means is that every time you go to the store and they give you US coins and change, that you keep them, take them home, fill up a bucket at home, do whatever you need to do to accumulate US coinage, because if the Federal Reserve goes bankrupt and the money is worthless, then we will have something to use to trade amongst ourselves, and it is entirely possible that the value of these coins will revert back to what these coins were worth in terms of purchasing power when the Fed was born in 1913. That is, you know, a price where you would be able to buy a gallon of milk for 6 cents. A car was $400, a house was $4,000. You can see where I'm going with this. Now, the value of the money that we have today in Federal Reserve notes is an artificial value. It's what we agree on. Well, if we're going to divest ourselves of this debt and go back to trading amongst ourselves with a common currency, we can determine the value of these coins ourselves by agreement. And the Fed has debased our money by 98% from 1913 till now. If we revert back to the value of what the coinage was in 1913, that would make a penny worth $1. That would make one of these dollar coins worth $100. And gold and silver, of course, would be rising in accordance with that. This particular crisis may not completely unfold itself in the June, July, August, September period this year, but it's almost inevitable that eventually we're going to have to do something about the debt load that has been created, which has enslaved future generations. So go out, take your change every time you go out, put it in a jar, put it in a bucket, put it in a piggy bank, and keep accumulating it. This is no risk to you. This is an investment in the liberty of this country, that all of us should be taking the Federal Reserve notes, giving it back to them, and taking US coinage in return. And yes, I am advocating everyone should have a healthy supply of these coins on hand, because we just don't know in the next year or two at what point we're going to have to revert to using them, like the Russians did with Marlboro cigarettes, like the Indians did with trading with salt. Currency is what we believe it to be, and the value that the currency has is what we agree on. So that's my thoughts for today. This is going to be an ongoing theme. The Federal Reserve and our economic system is in trouble, and Americans need to step up and take control of this country again by taking control of the currency that we use to trade amongst ourselves. Have a great day. I'll be back soon.